Hello and thanks for watching this video. In today's video, we are playing Mario again against the OG Kayo. I think everyone expected OG Kayo to be kind of like the pinnacle of the meta after we saw the first Super Slim cards, but it seems to be a little bit tougher. At the same time, I think like whenever I play against OG Kayo, it has this potential to completely blow you out. And yeah, oftentimes the games go really, really fast. So let's take a look at this game. And I can already promise you it was a very, very fast game. So let's dive in. All right, so Kayo got to start, and they are kicking things off with a Buckwild pitching a Fearless Confrontation. So coming in for 7. I definitely have the option to mark my opponent, so I give them a 3 block, in this case the Persuasive Prognosis, then we'll add the Lair of Spider to it, while that opponent is discarding a Mighty Wind-Up. So yeah, taking 1 damage here I think is okay. I still have the Kiss of Death, my opponent is marked, and the Command and Conquer. Yes, I could have blocked with 1 more card, but I think I need to respect that there might be like an additional card coming. And so, because my opponent is marked, I definitely want to start with a Save a Bloodshed and then use the Kiss of Death. It's coming in for 8, and usually I would expect my opponent not to block this. And so, yeah. It's like that. So Save a Bloodshed hits, I get another blue card and dealing 9 damage here already. Now I can use the Under the Trapdoor to pitch into Command and Conquer, putting the Surgical Extraction into Arsenal. Like expected, my opponent is blocking with armor here, so I would expect the first Blood Rush turn to happen here. I of course flick the Kiss of Death, dealing 2 more damage. Up ahead 10 life, but obviously Blood Rush can equalize this pretty easily. My opponent has 2 mites, and I do have the Surgical Extraction in Arsenal. Not the best Arsenal target, but let's see what's coming down the line. So yes, as expected, Blood Rush, Bellow, 2 resources floating. So the first Buckwild here comes in for 11. I'm up 10 life. My hand is capable of doing some damage for sure. Like ideally, I would probably want to keep the up sticks and run, and a blue to at least come in for like 5. I could block with a Surgical theoretically, or the Mark of the Black Widow. Multiple options. Could also block, Obweaver Spinneret and Mark of the Black Widow here. At the end, I decide to not block because yes, I take 11 damage, but in theory, my hand actually is kind of potent. I think I'm capable of giving like 1 card away at least, which would be the Mark of the Black Widow, which would allow me to play the buff for up sticks and run, coming in for like 5, and then coming in with a Surgical Extraction. But yeah, given there's another Bear Fangs coming, I think blocking here is the smarter decision. Maybe could have even blocked with the other cards here. I decided to go with a Surgical Extraction because either my opponent needs to give me like 2 cards from hand, or at least 1 card plus equipment. Okay, so my opponent is blocking with Scowling Flashback and Swing Big, probably anticipating like a buff, I don't know, with 1 resource floating, but I actually only want to flick my dagger to mark them and then put the up sticks and run into my arsenal. I'm down heavily on life, but ideally there's like much coming down the line here. So Buckwild for 6, and then because they only have 1 card left, could be like a Claw Swing, or they put the card into Arsenal. My hand actually converts quite well, and because my opponent is marked, Mark of Deceit is live. So what I could do here is use Mask of Deceit and not block with a card from hand to go into Arakni Black Widow. I do have like the front pump in Arsenal. I could then use the Kiss of Death, maybe discarding the up sticks and run, and then coming with a Scar Tissue and Stains of the Redback. It's actually, it would be quite difficult for me to flick. I think it's possible. Yes, I would need to keep 2 cards to then pitch into Hunter's Clave, but I think it is probably the better choice to just focus on damage. And so I go into the Trapdoor to block for 2, and now block with the Inertia Trap for 5, because that means whatever my opponent has in hand, they would need to pitch it in order to not lose value. And I think it was a good decision because it was a wild ride, so I definitely removed the option to go really wide from my opponent, and now I can come in for a crazy load of damage, right? Up sticks and run, plus up sticks and run, coming in for 8. Then using Kith of Death, which is another 3, so it would be like 11. And here I actually also choose to use the resource from Tunic to retrieve a dagger, because that's another damage I could use here to flick that dagger. And then I have 2 pumps to, keep my opponent marked with the scar tissue, as well as, go again, not really necessary here, but I can add 6 more damage to this, plus the on it. So 17 plus the dagger swing plus the Kiss of Death on it. So 18 damage presented here. My opponent blocks for 3, but still I now go into the life lead. So that was definitely a potent hand. And my opponent only has 3 cards left, so not really an option to go like super wide. But they come in with a show of strengths. 8 damage is very respectable. But what I can definitely do here is block with the blue Orbweaver Spinneret, just using the red Orbweaver Spinneret, and then go into the Persuasive Prognosis for 5, on hit banish, on hit go again. And maybe even keep the Codex of Inertia here for the Ponder, and bring the inertia up to my opponent. They most likely will not have a free arsenal, depending that they have a free card still in hand. So the effect of Codex of Inertia does not do much, but yeah, I would get another card plus the Ponder, etc. So here my opponent only blocks for 1, so I get the go again. And let's see what we banish. So it's a Vigorous Smash Up, so automatically the Run Rockhold, the blue, is pulled from the hand. So they only have 2 yellows and a red. For them, the good thing is they still have Savage Sash, so resources should not be a problem. But here, the Codex of Inertia actually plays out quite well. First the Inertia, the Ponder, and I can still do 4 damage with a Pain in the Backside, actually even marking my opponent with the Hunter's Clave, as my opponent does not block this. But I'm down to 12 life, and that is, as we all know, quite precarious in life total. So let's see what my opponent does here in terms of damage. First 6 I can definitely take, because my hand, again, actually, I would say converts quite well. I don't expect my Tunic to be meaningfully relevant in terms of like Tunic counters anymore, so I do give them the 1 block here to be a little bit safer with my life totals. I know that there is another yellow... No, actually it was a Strongest Survive. Yeah, because of the draw discard, of course. They have a Strongest Survive here, so another 3, and with 2 resources floating, they still have another Bugwild for 7. So I do need to block here. The question is with what? So the card that blocks the best is Save a Bloodshed here. At the same time, it would allow me to draw a card. And so, yeah, I still think I need to block with that. And I'm also thinking about giving Flick Knives. That would put me down to 1, so in the range of the D-React that they have. But they need to draw it now, or I guess they're dead. So I start with Front Pump, and I see they don't have the D-React, otherwise I could have just like passed. And then I use the Codex of Frailty for the Green Chelicera, and I still have 7 damage in my hand, so they would need to give me full hand, or they're just dead here. And so here comes 12 damage with the Chelicera, and the game is over quickly. So yeah, that was a very quick game against Kayo. Obviously, there was not a lot of downside passing between the stages, but also was just like 5 turns. And yeah, I think I had the opportunity to go aggressive here, despite me being behind in life quite a bit. But especially the Kiss of Death turn really helped out, being like a little bit... well, not really disruptive per se, but yeah, to actually force my opponent to block at times. I think the Codex of Inertia, or no, better to say, was the Inertia trap that really helped me to not allow my opponent to go wide. So they came in for 3, which is still 3 damage, but otherwise they would have come in for 6, plus the ability to, have another chain link in the upcoming turn. So that was definitely clutch in this situation. But let me know what you think. Was there anything that you would have played differently, or what's your general perception of the Mario against Kayo game? Thanks for watching, and please, if you have not done so, subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot. Take care, and bye-bye.